Alright, I'm supposed to make a project for my artificial intelligence class. Since I like robotics, I decided I'm gonna train a custom robot to walk using reinforcement learning. I normally speedrun school projects in a day or two, but I suspect this one is gonna be hard, so I'm gonna allocate 2 weeks to it. Okay, here's the plan. I'm gonna model the robot in Fusion 360. Then I'm gonna find a way to import it into Isaac Lab, which is the program used for training these robots. And then I'm gonna tune the reward function and hopefully train him to walk. So I'm gonna open Fusion 360 and get back to you once I have the robot modeled. I chose the simplest bipedal you can make. This bipedal has 3 degrees of freedom per leg. And since this is a school project, my main focus was to make it beautiful. So I will have fine-tuned the details. I think I even took inspiration from some sculptures. After I finished the CAD modeling, I needed a way to export this into Isaac Lab, and to do that you need a URDF file. URDF stands for Unified Robotics Description Format. This basically defines the physical dimensions, the meshes, joints, collisions, mass properties and things like that. I found an extension you can plug into Fusion 360. So I just googled Fusion 360 to URDF, found this GitHub page, downloaded the code, and then I just pasted it into the scripts extension. Unfortunately, I wasn't recording when I was trying this script for the first time, but I'm gonna recreate roughly what happened. Fuck. There should be a message saying URDF exported successfully. I figured you can go into pull request and here you can find the fixes from the community. So I just downloaded the latest pull request, and when I ran the extension, this is what happened. At this point I was pretty pissed. You need to have a base link for your robot. This is the link that the rest of the links attach to, and I have that. So why am I getting this error? I started to try different things with this assembly, and after a few hours I managed to find a solution. I fucking solved it. If I go to this base link and I rename this body, so I name it base link, and then I create components from bodies. Now when I try to run the script, it fucking works. So I just wasted an hour on this. I am used from Autodesk Inventor to model the parts separately, then I just drag them in this file and try to do it that way. I guess it's not the standard for Fusion. I needed to transform the components into bodies. I couldn't find a way to do this, so I just imported the step assembly into Autodesk Inventor. Then I saved it as a single part step file and opened it in Fusion 360 again. That way I got bodies instead of components, and I just created components from bodies. I added all the joints and the extension finally worked. This extension is named URDF exporter. And guess which file types you're not gonna export with it. It exported this stupid Xarco file. I just rewrote it to URDF and prayed that it would work. After creating the URDF file, you just need to open it in Isaac Sim and save it as a USD file, which you can then use for the training. This is where the final nail in the coffin of my general well-being came. Isaac Sim just wouldn't open, even though I had used it a week before with no problems. I just want to capture this moment because holy shit, it fucking works. I've tried to open Isaac Sim for 2 hours. I tried a bunch of things. I'm pretty sure I haven't changed anything. It always used to stop responding and I had to close it down. And now I just turn it up and it fucking works. Programming can be really frustrating. After opening Isaac Sim, I tried to import the URDF file and it didn't work, of course. So I had to download an older version, Isaac Sim 4.2. That way I was able to get the robot imported. After I imported the robot, it automatically saves the USD file and you're gonna find it in the robot description. Now we finally got to the interesting part. This is the Cassie robot. They actually have this robot inside Isaac Lab. So my plan was to borrow these files and modify them for my custom bipedal robot. Since I haven't found any tutorials on how to do this, I was just gonna wing it, and holy shit was it painful. So I copied all the files I felt were relevant, and I tried my best to rewrite them. I just changed the name to bipedal with everything, and I cooperated with ChatGPT. After I felt like I rewrote all the relevant files, I tried to run the training script, and it worked first try. Yeah, no, I got a bunch of errors. Ever since I installed the older version of Isaac Sim, it fucked up the previous version, so I had major issues with this. The Isaac Lab doesn't work. It basically won't load the Isaac Sim and it will just close down. Reinstalling the PyTorch finally helped. I was afraid I was gonna waste 10 hours on this, but it's been only 30 minutes, so very nice. Okay, this is progress. We got a new error finally. When I modeled my robot in Fusion 360, I named the links link 1, link 2, link 3. In the Isaac Lab, I named them hip joint, calf, things like that. Obviously the joint names and the link names have to match. I think I'm gonna rewrite the URDF file. I just went into the URDF file, opened it as a text file and changed all of the names. It's the same as before, but the links and joints have different names. It looks very nice. I'm gonna try running the script. I highly doubt it's gonna work, but if it will, I will jump out of my chair. I hope I will get a new error at least. Fuck. I've been stuck at this error for 5 hours. I've tried many things. I've scoured the internet, asked ChatGPT just some logical steps, you know, what the error says. I've tried to correct that and nothing seems to be working. There's a possibility that the issue is with this USD file, but everything seems to be okay. From what I've read from the internet, this needs to be set to an articulation root, which it is. I've tried this for the robot and then for the base link. Also, none of these files are instanceable, so that's fine. And yeah, it's rigid bodies. I think it's time to give up. I'm gonna go in a different direction. I found this tutorial. I'm not sure if this is exactly what I need, but I'm gonna follow this and maybe I will learn something useful. And if this doesn't help, I will probably just import files from Robotmania and try to modify them. It's kind of depressing, but I've spent way too much time on this, so I need to move on somehow. I considered just downloading models from the community, effectively giving up the project. Little did I know, I was on the verge of finding a solution. Since you're watching this video, you're probably into robotics or even engineering, so I want to show you my sponsor, PCBWay. PCBWay is basically an engineering heaven. I use them for all of my projects and they are great. If you need anything manufacturing-wise, they got you covered. CNC machining, like milling and turning, they got it. 3D printing, no problem. So far, I've used them for their PCB services. They do normal PCBs, flexible PCBs, and PCB assembly. Also, if you click the link in the description and it's your first time using PCBWay, you will get a $5 discount. Okay, this is probably pretty fucking confusing, but I want to show you where I am right now. So basically I got the physical model of my robot in this USD path. With this, it's giving me the error. I've just realized I can probably diagnose it. So the Cassie robot obviously works and I copied the files and I tried to rewrite them for my specific robot. It's probably an issue with the USD file, because if I change this for the Cassie USD path, it opens up and works. You saw the 8 Cassie robots. That means that this USD file has been loaded, but if I used my USD file, it doesn't load. So the issue is either in the USD file or even further upstream in the URDF file. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a URDF file which I know works from the Robotmania YouTube channel. I'm gonna convert that into USD, try to run that, and if that doesn't work, that means I'm probably doing something wrong with the USD conversion. Holy shit. fuck. This whole time the URDF file was the problem. Okay, I've changed the URDF file and I generated a simple USD file from that, so we're gonna see if it loads. Huh? What the fuck? Holy shit. Oh my fucking god. Yes. This took so fucking long. Oh, before it was in this format, so file name and this dot. It rewrote it like this. I also double checked. I checked the URDF from the Robots Mania YouTube channel guy with the quadruped robot, and he had it in this format too, so I've changed it for that, and now it fucking works. So obviously when I tried to run the training it failed, but I expected this, so now I got a different error I can try to fix. I copied and pasted the error to ChatGPT. It told me that there are 3 errors, so it's like the Hydra, you kill one head and 3 more emerge. Voila, yes! Dope. Holy shit, I literally have goosebumps right now. Fuck, man. This is the first time I ran the simulation and it didn't fucking crash immediately. I thought I was stuck again on some error and I was guesstimating it would take like 10 hours to fix. But I changed some code and now it fucking works. Oh my, this is better than my graduation. Okay, so this is pretty fucking great, right? The simulation doesn't quite work. I'm gonna change the USD file. I think the robot just dropped like under this terrain. But now I can finally start to focus on the training phase. The training works. It's just that the robot is upside down. I added this rotation. This should rotate the robot around x-axis by 180 degrees. And it's changed nothing. It's like if it got possessed by a demon. Nice. Since I can't really rotate it in Isaac Lab, I'm gonna rotate it in the URDF file. So this should be pretty straightforward according to ChatGPT. I'm gonna import the URDF file. Now it should be rotated. Fuck. I've just imported the new URDF file, which I modified by using this. So I add a new link named world. I used fixed joint with the base, and then I can do translation and rotation. So now it's just above the ground, centered with the coordinate system, and it looks pretty good. Assuming this works, I'm gonna let it train for 5 minutes. Just to see that it does something, and then I'm gonna play with the reward terms. Since I haven't figured out how to change the orientation in Isaac Sim, I just did it in my Fusion 360 assembly. So now I'm gonna generate the URDF file, then the USD file, load it into Isaac Lab, and it should start the training phase correctly. I'm pretty sure it's gonna work now. What the fuck? Here it's correctly oriented, in Isaac Sim it's correctly oriented, and here it's just upside down. What the fuck? Okay, I think I figured out what's happening. When I first got the simulation to start and load the USD file, my laptop crashed. And for some fucking reason, instead of just not saving the most recent version of the file, it deletes the whole fucking file. So the whole script is gone. Like, what the fuck? Okay, I rewrote the file for the robot configuration. I accidentally loaded a wrong USD file. Here I changed the orientation of the base link, but didn't change the orientation of the limbs. So the robot looks pretty fucking stupid. Yeah, this guy learned to stand on his legs. And since the base isn't touching the ground, it gets reward. So this is the peak performance for this robot. I updated the USD file. Now I think it should finally work. Why does it restart every time the feet touch the ground? Okay, so I'm gonna have to look into the termination conditions and into the rewards. Okay, so I'm playing with the termination conditions. And as a test code, I changed the height to 10 meters, and I forgot to delete that. This reminds me of a turtle that is stuck on its back. Okay, so I think I found out what was the issue with the termination. I modeled these joints very lazily. The joints are just a tube and a hole, and they have the same diameter. I didn't add any clearance. Since there's no clearance, it's probably gonna introduce some super high forces and cause it to terminate. So I'm gonna add clearance to only these hip joints because I'm too lazy. You have no idea how long it took me to get here. The robot only terminates when it completely falls, so I'm pretty happy with this. Quick update, I noticed that the movements are quite jerky, so I increased the damping. It was 0.1, now it's 1, and it's starting to look much better. Man, if I saw this yesterday, I would probably like jump out of my chair or something. Okay, so this looks good. I think I might actually let it train for hour or two. I'm gonna try it without rendering it. That's the test headless. Then I'm gonna use the command video. It's gonna take a short video every 100 episodes. So this is officially the first video of my custom bipedal robot. Very nice. And the training has started, so now we are at iteration 3. What I'm gonna look at is this mini reward. I want that to increase. Since I stopped the simulation, I tried to run the play.py script to play the latest trained model, and I get the same error as I got in my previous video. So with Cassie you can't run the play script because it gives you an error, and now I found a solution on GitHub, and I'm confident by these 4 likes that it will work, so I decided to record it. Nice, so this solved the problem. Yeah, so these fuckers learn to just sit on their legs. Yeah, it's funny. It's like they're sleeping. So they just get reward for doing fuck all. This is what I look like after coding this for the whole day. This is obviously a local minima, but yeah, it's nice that this play script works, so I guess it's back to the training. It's a new day, I let the robots train overnight. So this trained for about 5 hours, and I'm gonna run the latest trained model and we're gonna see if it can walk. But according to this low reward, I think it will not walk at all. These fuckers. Yeah, so they just learned to sit again. Okay, so I'm just gonna let them train again. If you run the exact same training, sometimes you get different results. Like there's some randomness in the code. What? Holy shit. Oh, so this guy actually started to walk. It's just that he ended up sitting. That was sick. Fuck man, if I let it train for a longer time, I think they would learn to walk with no problem. Okay, I'm just gonna redo the training. Okay, I just found out how to resume the training. So, resume equals resume in all caps, and it's gonna restore the last trained model. Or you can paste in a path to the trained model. Logs, RSL, RL, bipedal MK1, and here are the models. So I just took the latest model, copy as path, and then I pasted it into this command. New day is here again. The training didn't went well, the robots always just sit around. I think the torque, the actuator's output is too small. For this actuator, the stiffness and damping, at first I thought it's some physical property, but according to ChatGPT, these are actually the PD gains of the actuator. So I want the legs to be able to make the robot jump, I want them to be strong. But I also don't like this jittering, but the jittering that can be caused by the policies. So I'm gonna look into the Cassie robot, see how much the legs jitter, and I'm gonna modify my robot accordingly. Okay, so his legs jitter quite a lot, so I'm gonna put 104. Okay, I can already tell this is too much stiffness. Well, let's do 70 actually. Okay, I'm gonna let this train, and now, for the first time, I believe it could actually learn to walk. Holy shit, that looks so good. This trained for 4 hours I think, but it's beautiful. He can even walk down the stairs. No problem. The robot has no camera, he doesn't see anything. Just by the contact forces and observations he is able to navigate in this rough terrain. It's pretty insane. Future me here, our teacher decided to extend the due date, and since I was so happy with these results, I decided to continue the project. So I modeled an ostrich robot and I'm gonna upload that on my second channel. It's gonna be a more detailed version. I'm gonna go through the code, all the files, everything, so you can check that out. If you want to support the channel, you can check out my Patreon, where I will upload files for the ostrich robot. And if you want to know the grade I got for this project, I'm gonna post that in the comments in about a week. Other than that, thank you for watching and I'll see you soon.